The summer had barely begun when I realized the HOA had officially banned me from using water at my lake cabin. Their notice was buried in legal jargon, but the message was clear. Any unauthorized water usage is strictly prohibited. The irony? My cabin sat on the largest private plot by the lake, and for decades, my family had relied on that water system. At first, I tried to comply. I limited my water usage to a trickle, hoping that would appease the HOA. But as the days went by, I noticed something alarming. 120 neighboring homes. Every single house in the HOA was overusing water like there was no tomorrow. Their lawns were soaked, fountains splashed day and night, and sprinklers ran like clockwork. Meanwhile, my cabin, which had been self-sufficient and responsible for decades, was now under scrutiny. I tried reasoning with the HOA board. I reminded them that my water usage had always been within limits, that I maintained my pipes and tanks, and that the lake was my property as much as theirs. But it was like speaking into a brick wall. The HOA representatives were smug, citing rules that didn't even make sense. Every email ended with the same thinly veiled threat: further violation will result in fines and legal action. By mid-July, my patience snapped. I decided to send a message, not just for myself, but for all the lake's resources. One morning, before anyone could react, I cut off the water supply coming into my cabin. Then I traced the main lines feeding the entire 120-home HOA grid. Slowly but surely, the flow stopped, one neighborhood at a time. Sprinklers sputtered, fountains went dry, and lawns began to wilt under the sun. Panic spread like wildfire. The HOA called an emergency meeting that afternoon. I stood there, calm but unyielding, while their board members scrambled, their phones buzzing nonstop. "We demand the water back," they shouted. "You can't do this." I smiled. "Actually, I can. Every pipe in this network runs through property I legally own. If you want water, you need to negotiate fairly and respectfully or go thirsty." Over the next 48 hours, the HOA scrambled to negotiate. Their previous arrogance evaporated into urgent pleading. Homeowners, many of whom had mocked me weeks before, now came to my cabin with empty watering cans and desperate faces. In the end, a compromise was reached, but on my terms. They had to pay for maintenance, adhere to strict water usage limits, and acknowledge my rights over my own cabin's water system. More importantly, the lesson was clear. The resources I cared about wouldn't be exploited, and no HOA bureaucrat would ever bully me or my lake again. That summer, my cabin became more than just a retreat. It became a symbol. Sometimes, standing your ground isn't about revenge. It's about protecting what's yours and teaching others the cost of disrespect.